everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Grid. This is part of the 8th wave of Collector's Edition figures. I found this guy at Walmart. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Grid, McFarlane Collector's Edition. Here he is in the package. No traditional accessories, but we have display stand, collector's card, and a stand for the card. One side of the package, Grid from Forever Evil. This is the 29th figure in the McFarlane Collector's Edition subline. Other side says Grid. At the bottom, there's the barcode, if that helps anybody. And in the back, here he is posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did actually find the Platinum Chase variant before this one at a different Walmart. So let's go and review them together. Alright, now that these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They don't have any traditional accessories. We have a display stand, collector's card, and a stand for the card. And you know what? I'm okay with that. You get a lot of plastic with this guy. The package is heavy, he barely fits. So this is Grid. He started off as sort of a little virus inside a Cyborg, and I believe in the alternate Earth, he took over, made his own robot body out of pieces of Cyborg, and then he joined the Crime Syndicate, which is basically the evil Justice League on different alternate Earths. We have the regular version here, looking fantastic, a gray metallic color. Then we have the Platinum Chase here in a green color, and I believe that's supposed to be him as he appeared in the Cyber Realm when he fought Cyborg or Vic Stone. Now, I think he has crossed into the main universe and fought Cyborg before, in Forever Evil, for example, and every time they beat him, a little piece of him stays alive inside Cyborg and comes back later. This uses the Flashpoint Cyborg body, which is a very large, oversized Build-A-Figure, and I never for the life of me thought they would find a way to reuse that body, but they sure did, and it looks pretty freaking cool. So let's take a look. Starting with his face here, looks good, looks sinister. Kind of reminds me of the Terminator. He's got red all over his mouth, green eyes, little green dots on him, good sculpting detail. Looks like maybe this is his power source, I don't know. One open hand, one big gun hand, remember that from the Cyborg. Has some red at the front like it's charging, about to fire. It looks like a single jointed elbow here, double jointed on this one. Think it's single jointed knees. Big giant feet, helps this big oversized figure stand pretty easily. Almost cleated feet. A lot of detail in the little metallic parts. It has a little bit of sort of a shiny paint job, and I appreciate that. I think he looks pretty damn cool. I mean, look at that face. I like the little detail on the sort of robotics exposed, etc. Then we have the Platinum version. It is 100% the same figure, and he looks like glow in the dark, but I tested that. That is not the case. Very similar face, except instead of red and lips, it's sort of gray underneath. Total thing is teal. You can see little green dots on his head, the same sort of cybernetic pieces. His is charging green at the front. They both look pretty cool. You can see it has a little bit of sort of dark wash over it, darker pieces. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It looks fantastic. It's like a metallic skull, but it looks like he has blood all over his teeth, which is not really what's going on, but that's kind of what it looks like. He looks evil, demonic, almost like something out of Resident Evil. I really like the side of his head there, how you have all the sort of robotic pieces exposed. I don't know, almost like he's damaged. Just want to rip the top layer off. And here's the Platinum Chase variant's head, which also looks cool in a kind of different way. Get a really good sculpt on that top part, I like that. Now for his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff, and who am I kidding, it's all boring stuff. We have the display stand, typical McFarlane display stand, except this one has a silver DC at the bottom because it's from the collector's edition. And then we have the collector's card. It's an image of Grid, I believe from Forever Evil. McFarlane collector's edition. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And it doesn't do much for me. but if you want to display the collector's card next to your figure, you have a stand to do so. Now I'm going to look at the differences in reuse between Grid and the Flashpoint Cyborg. And like I said before, I never thought they'd find a reuse for this body. Bam, here it is. And I think it's pretty cool. So, obviously, head's totally different. I really like this head here. His is not bad, it's just the guy is just too big overall. So, the top part of the torso, I guess, is totally different. I don't really see anything that could be the same. The stomach area, honestly, also looks different. Diaper piece is the same. The top part of the arm is definitely the same. I'm sure the shoulder is. The bicep area. The cannon is different. The other arm looks to be exactly the same all the way from top to bottom. And the legs also look to be identical. But so, new parts would be the cannon, the head, the entire torso, and of course, totally different paint job that really makes him look different. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his lack of accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right about 9 inches tall, which can translate to about 23 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with this head, you can rotate side to side, you can look up and down quite a bit, up not much, straight ahead is about the best you're going to get there. Can tilt his head from side to side. Shoulders, a ball joint goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. This one is a single jointed elbow with the cannon. This one is a double jointed elbow without the cannon. His wrist can rotate and it's hinged. Ball joint is torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. Legs completely does the splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is very good on this guy. Probably the most impressive I've ever seen on a McFarlane figure. Then go forward about that far. Back not much. Single jointed knee. There's rotation there too. Then his ankle. Forward and back. And it's ratcheted because this figure is very heavy, so it helps hold into place. Tilt rock a little bit. Toe articulation. The rotation is in the knee to make up for none in the ankle. Here's a look at Cyborg interfacing with the computer. Everyday work for him. A while later, little does Cyborg know, there's this virus inside of him. It's trying to take over, nicknamed Grid. Cyborg doesn't realize he's thinking, I have a headache. I've never had a headache before. Cyborg is crawling on the floor, writhing in agony. He's starting to realize something's wrong, and just as he starts to run a diagnostic, Grid takes control. He's now in charge of Cyborg's body and mind. Grid immediately goes and contacts the Crime Syndicate. He has an offer they cannot refuse. The Crime Syndicate approaches, curious what he has to offer. He's like, oh, back down, I'm not Cyborg. This is Grid. I can offer you guys unlimited access to national defenses, money, anything the internet can touch, in exchange for, I would like a robot body made out of Cyborg's pieces and emotions. Of course, the Crime Syndicate agrees, deliver on their promise, and now Grid is a member of the Crime Syndicate. Later, Cyborg tries to resurface, tries to take control. Grid is fighting him in his mind. The digital version of Grid, a real one, just beating him down, pummeling him, maintaining control. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Cyborg figures. And this isn't the first time that McFarlane has made an evil version of Cyborg. They made Murder Machine from the Dark Knight's Metal, which is a Cyborg Batman hybrid from a different Earth in the Dark Multiverse. And they have this in common, I guess. They're also an evil cyborg from a different Earth in the multiverse, but they're not from the Dark Multiverse. It gets really complicated. Here they are, next to the Flashpoint Cyborg, which is what their body is based off of. Then, next to both versions of McFarlane's Zack Snyder Justice League Cyborg. And now, with the Teen Titans Go animated Cyborg, here they are, next to McFarlane's most recent, and definitely their best Cyborg. This is based off his look in the Rebirth comics. Here's a look at all of McFarlane's Cyborg and Evil Cyborg figures. And here they are, next to my other Cyborg figures. On the left, that's a DC Direct New 52 Cyborg, and the other three are by Mattel. Grid here is a member of the Crime Syndicate. It's basically an evil Justice League from a different multiverse Earth. Here he is, next to the first four members of the Crime Syndicate they made in the Star Wave: Owlman, Ultraman, Superwoman, and the Emerald Knight, a member of the Power Rings. Later they released the Ultraman and Superman 2-pack. It also came with Atomica. It's basically a female evil version of the Atom. I like to use this Page Puncher Flash as a fill-in for Johnny Quick, the evil version of the Flash. I imagine eventually they'll make him for us. And they recently made, in the same wave as Grid, a Platinum Simon Baz. He's also an evil version of Simon Baz, a member of the Power Rings, and a brief member of the Crime Syndicate. So here's the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 1. Every single Collector's Edition figure has a Platinum Chase variant. Here are both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, the Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. And here's the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum versions of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, the third wave of Collector's Edition figures. We have the Death and Return of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman as Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. Here's the fourth wave. This wave consisted of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. And here's the fifth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Here's the sixth wave of Collector's Edition figures, both versions of the Red Hood, Clock King and Dr. Time, Ragman, and Agent Liberty. And finally, here's the seventh wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and some Green Lantern Corps members. We have Tomar Ray, Evan Sewer, Arcus Chumuk, and the Green Man. And here's Series 8 of the Collector's Edition. So far, I have 4 out of the 12 figures. Regular version of Lightning Lad, both the regular and Platinum versions of Grid, and the Platinum version of Simon Baz. I still need to track down the Platinum Lightning Lad, the regular Simon Baz, both versions of Mr. Terrific, both versions of Christopher Reeve Superman, and both versions of Target exclusive Geoforce. And since this Cyborg Superman is a Platinum Chase variant, I wanted to take a look at all the different McFarlane DC Multiverse Platinum Chase variants out there. Here are all the sort of older Platinum Chase variants: gold, bronze, unpainted, and then some newer versions. And here's a look at all the more modern McFarlane DC Multiverse Platinum figures. I am almost caught up again. Currently, the only Platinums I'm missing are the Wave 3 Digital Black Tux Joker and Speed Force Flash, the Wave 8 Collector's Edition figures, Lightning Lad, Mr. Terrific, Chris Reeve Superman, Geoforce, and then there's the 66 wave Clock King Black and White version Platinum. And I guess the Batman vs Superman stuff is starting to get out in the US, so I need the Armored Batman and the regular Superman Platinums from that. It's an ongoing journey, but I'm so close to caught up right now. Here's a look at the McFarlane Grid figures, next to NECA's Grid Alien. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here they are, next to the Amazon exclusive Arkham City Detective Mode Batman vs. Solomon Grundy pack. Here are these Grid figures, next to the Shazam and Freddie Freeman 2-pack. This is also an Amazon exclusive. And here they are, next to the Walmart exclusive Action Comics Superman and Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Then, next to the third digital wave, Silver Age Joker and Earth 2 Robin. And now, with the Arkham City Glow-in-the-Dark Killer Croc. This is also an Amazon exclusive. Here are these Grid figures, next to the Target exclusive Sinestro and Parallax Armor and Commander Steel. And here they are, next to the latest Jokerized wave, Hush, Harley Quinn, and the Last Sign on Earth Batman. Then, next most recent Page Puncher wave, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Rebirth Deathstroke and the Damian Wayne Robin. And now, with the most recent Platinum wave, The Question, Shining Knight, and Effigy. And finally, with the dawn of the DC Red Hood and the Rebirth Cyborg. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix them with. Since they're McFarlane toys, they're typically the 7-inch scale, and even though these guys are about 9 inches tall, they're still a 7-inch scale action figure. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect. They work way smaller, but first, let's check them out with some of their McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and some Diamond Select toys. Here they are, next to some Contact Solution. And here they are, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, these are some pretty cool figures. Grid looks great. He's really cool. Kind of creepy looking. He's really heavy. You get a lot of plastic. It feels like a good value for a collector's edition figure. I don't mind the lack of accessories because this guy is just a big boy. He's a beast. Clocking in about 9 inches tall. Face looks fantastic. I like the figure. Like I said before, I didn't think there would ever be a chance they would reuse the Cyborg Flashpoint body, but they did, and it worked out pretty well. Sculpt and paint job, excellent. No issues there. Articulation, it's a little bit limited in a couple areas, but for a big bulky figure, it's pretty good. Accessories are non-existent. If I were to rate these guys, I'd probably give the regular version of Grid an 8, and the Platinum version, I don't know, maybe a 7. They're both very nice figures, but if I had to pick just one, it would definitely be the regular version. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.